There are 12 places in the world that have a high number of unexplained phenomena, such as unusual disappearances, anomalous weather, and paranormal incidents. A British-American biologist, Ivan T. Sanderson, 1911–1973, coined the term vile vortex to describe these places in his article, The 12 Devil's Graveyards Around the World, published in a 1972 issue of the magazine Saga. He suggested that the reason why these places have such high strangeness may be due to electromagnetic anomalies, underground geological activity, or possibly even extraterrestrial activity. He also noticed that these vile vortices seem to be connected to each other via an invisible energetic grid line and are evenly spaced between the tropics of Capricorn and Cancer. In total, the vile vortices, two of which are located at the north and south poles, form an icosahedron around Earth, similar to the 20-sided die used in role-playing games. Here is a summary of each of these vile vortices so that you can avoid them, unless you are a paranormal traveler like me who is more likely to seek them out. The Bermuda Triangle, 25.0 degrees north, 71.0 degrees west, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is probably the most famous of all the vile vortices. The triangle is bordered by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico and is in the western North Atlantic Ocean. Although there is disagreement over the exact area of the Bermuda Triangle, it is typically estimated to cover an area of about 500,000 square miles, 1.3 million square kilometers. Numerous unexplained instances involving missing ships and airplanes have occurred inside the triangle. A couple of the more well-known incidents are the loss of the tanker SS Marine Sulphur Queen in 1963 and the disappearance of Flight 19, a group of 5 U.S. Navy bombers that went missing during a training exercise in 1945. Many theories exist as to why all these disappearances are occurring in the Bermuda Triangle. I believe that beneath the sea at the Bermuda Triangle, there is a pyramid with a large crystal that creates a portal during certain times. This pyramid was a part of Atlantis, which sank below the seas during a cataclysm. The disappearing ships and planes accidentally entered this portal and ended up in another dimension. I had read the account of a pilot who entered this portal but was lucky to find a way out of it. He described that the moment he entered that dimension, everything seemed grayer. There was no sound, and a strange green fog surrounded his plane. In accounts of the Philadelphia experiment where a ship was transported across multiple places and times using strong electromagnetic fields, this green fog was also mentioned as surrounding the ship before it disappeared. Luckily for him, he exited out from a hole in the clouds. The colors and sounds went back to normal as he re-entered our world. When he landed, he found that there had been a time distortion. He arrived much earlier than physically possible. I believe our world is based on space-time, which means that time is the measure we use in our dimension to assess how long has passed in traveling across 2 points in space. The other dimension is that of time-space, which means that when we travel across 2 points in that other dimension, we are moving through time instead of through space. What theories have you heard, and what do you believe is really happening at Bermuda Triangle? Let me know in the comments below. The Algerian Megaliths, 28.0 degrees north, 3.0 degrees east, are a collection of prehistoric megalithic buildings situated in southern Algeria's Sahara Desert. The megaliths, which are made up of massive standing stones organized in circles, squares, and other forms, are thought to be between 2,000 and 9,000 years old. The Garamantes, a prehistoric North African culture that inhabited the area between the 1st millennium BC and the 5th century AD, are thought to have built the megaliths. Like many megaliths in the world, the alignment of many of the standing stones in Algerian megaliths coincide with the rising and setting of the sun, stars, solstices, and equinoxes. Sanderson thought that, even though the Algerian megaliths themselves might not have been directly connected to phenomena of disappearances and the like, their placement within these vortices may have had some bearing on the extraordinary occurrences that were observed there. The island of Hawaii is home to the massive, dormant Hamakulia Volcano, 19.0 degrees north, 155.5 degrees west, sometimes referred to as the Hamakuwa caldera. It is located on the eastern edge of the island, facing out over the Pacific. The Hamakulia volcano, one of 3 that make up the Greater Mauna Kea volcanic complex, is noteworthy for having one of the largest calderas in the world, measuring around 6 miles, 10 kilometers, in circumference. According to Sanderson, this site has unusual magnetic anomalies, intense electrical activity that can affect equipment, and strange atmospheric phenomena. The Zimbabwe Megaliths, 19.0 degrees south, 30.0 degrees east, are a group of stone buildings in Zimbabwe's southeast, close to the town of Masvingo. They are thought to have been built by the ancestors of the Shona people, who inhabited the area between the 11th and 15th centuries CE. Made up of large stone walls and towers, the walls are formed from tens of thousands of rocks that fit together securely without the use of mortar. The Great Zimbabwe Complex, which is thought to have served as the Shona Kingdom's capital, is the most well-known of the Zimbabwe megaliths. The complex includes a sizable stone enclosure called the Great Enclosure that is thought to have been utilized for religious or ritual purposes. It is about 820 feet, 250 meters, in circumference. Similar to the Algerian megaliths, though few unusual phenomena have been directly connected with the Zimbabwe megaliths, but the fact that it is within the vortex may prove significant. A secluded island in the southeast Pacific Ocean, Easter Island, 27.1 degrees south, 109.4 degrees west, often referred to as Rapa Nui, is famous for their huge stone statues, known as moai. The moai can reach heights of 33 feet, 10 meters, weigh up to 75 tons, and are carved from volcanic rock. They faced inland into the interior of the island and were built on substantial platforms called ahu. The island's original Rapa Nui people, who lived between the 13th and 16th centuries CE, are also known for their unique system of writing, known as rongorongo, which is carved into wooden tablets and has yet to be fully deciphered. Sanderson pointed out that the moai statues on the island were placed in a way that appeared to coincide with specific astronomical events, indicating that whoever built them had advanced knowledge of the sky and its cycles. A section of the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Japan, southeast of the Izu Peninsula, is referred to as the Devil's Sea, 25.0 degrees north, 145.0 degrees east, or the Dragon's Triangle. It is notorious for having a history of multiple ship and airplane disappearances. The Japanese island of Honshu to the northwest, the island of Iwo Jima to the southeast, and the island of Guam to the south serve as the general boundaries of the Devil's Sea. Sailors and pilots have reported a variety of weird events in this region, including compass errors, spectral manifestations, and sightings of UFOs. Besides possible paranormal explanations, the Devil's Sea is an area prone to erratic weather patterns, strong currents, and unexpected storms. Furthermore, Japan and the seas around it is part of the Ring of Fire, a highly active volcanic zone, so the disappearances could also be due to the existence of underwater volcanoes or other natural phenomena. The South Atlantic Anomaly, 0.0 degrees, minus 40.0 degrees, in space above the South Atlantic Ocean, is a region located in the South Atlantic Ocean between South America and Africa, where the Earth's magnetic field is less than it is anywhere else on Earth. Its size and location are continually changing. The weak magnetic field is believed to be caused by the inner Van Allen radiation belt coming closest to the Earth's surface. This is detrimental to satellites and other spacecraft passing through this region as they will be subjected to higher exposure of cosmic radiation. Besides its effects on satellite and spacecraft operations, some people have reported strange sensations or feelings while flying over the anomaly. Sanderson believed that the anomaly was associated with a portal to another dimension. In Pakistan's Sindh province sits the historic city of Mohenjo-Daro, 27.1 degrees north, 68.7 degrees east. It is considered one of the biggest cities of the ancient Indus Valley civilization, dated between 2600 and 1900 BCE. The city was neatly divided into divisions for worship, work, and residence, and kept clean by a modern drainage system. Even though Mohenjo-Daro had highly developed infrastructure and planning, relatively little is known about the culture of its residents. According to archaeological evidence, the city was a hub for trade and commerce, receiving supplies from as far afield as Mesopotamia and Central Asia. There is talk that the city was obliterated by a nuclear blast in the past, maybe because of a struggle between advanced civilizations. This hypothesis is supported by some archaeological excavation results that indicate the city was abandoned abruptly and that human bones and remains exhibit traces of intense heat and radiation. South of the Indian subcontinent and west of Indonesia, in the northeastern Indian Ocean, is a sizable underwater region known as the Wharton Basin, 10.0 degrees south, 90.0 degrees east. This is a substantial depression or trough in the ocean floor that stretches for hundreds of kilometers and can be found at depths of up to 7,000 meters, 23,000 feet. The Wharton Basin is located close to the point where many tectonic plates converge, including the Indian Plate, the Australian Plate, and the Eurasian Plate. As a result, numerous large earthquakes and tsunamis have occurred there over the years. According to Sanderson, besides the unexplained phenomena commonly associated with vile vortices, this area is also known for sightings of sea monsters. With a length of more than 750 miles and a depth of more than 25,000 feet, the new Hebrides Trench, 18.5 degrees south, 167.5 degrees east, is a vast oceanic trench that may be found in the South Pacific. Located east of Australia and New Zealand, the new Hebrides Trench is a convergence zone for the Australian Plate and the Pacific Plate. As a result, this region is an active seismic zone and part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. As with other vile vortices, this area is known for the mysterious disappearances of ships and planes. Finally, the last two vile vortices are the North Pole, 90.0 degrees north, 0.0 degrees east, and South Pole, 90.0 degrees south, 0.0 degrees east, respectively. Being the northernmost and southernmost ends of the Earth's axis of rotation, the North Pole is in the Arctic Ocean and the South Pole is in Antarctica. Some people believe the North Pole to have an opening to the hollow Earth. As for the South Pole/Antarctica area, there have been numerous sightings of UFOs around this region. It may be a base for extraterrestrials, or as some people believe, a hideout for the Nazis who escaped there after the end of World War II. Some of these vile vortices are in the oceans, or can be difficult to get to, but some of them are still accessible. Would you visit any of these vile vortex?